The Kaiser Chiefs' Easy 8th album is a fun, breezy, and easy listen that makes me wish that I listen to more Kaiser Chiefs.
Tonight I'm gonna teach you how to dance. Dance.
Let's break it all down. Hey everybody, it's Nick here with you. Welcome back to the Rot Squad channel. So the Kaiser Chiefs' Easy 8th album is the band's 8th album. Let me count that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Checks out. It's the follow-up to 2019's Duck, and I've listened to mostly just the singles from the Kaiser Chiefs over the years. Never really dug into their albums, but I love tracks like I Predict a Riot, Ruby, and Never Miss a Beat. But I always felt that they were one of the stronger UK bands to come out of that crop of bands that came out in the mid-2000s with bands like the Kooks, who I love, and then bands like Block Party, who I despise. And after missing out on the Kaiser Chiefs music over the last decade or so, never really digging into the albums or singles, I'm happy to say that I really enjoyed listening to this Easy 8th album. The Easy 8th album is indeed an easy and breezy listen, clocking in at just under a half an hour. Like I said, I haven't listened to a lot of the Kaiser Chiefs albums over the last decade or so, but this album definitely has a dancey, retro kind of feel. Right from the get-go on the opening track, Feeling Alright, to How to Dance, to the Job Center Shuffle, which is a great title, the band is leaning into the dance vibes with upbeat drums, thumping bass, and some super funky guitars, and they do it very well. Especially on a track like How to Dance, which is the opposite of rock, but which is the track I really loved. Come on, who doesn't love shaking their ass to a song like this?
Tonight I'm gonna teach you how to dance. Dance.
I also love the track Burning in Flames. That's the kind of dance track that's for the lovers, you know? Ricky Wilson as a vocalist also sounds great on this record. Very dynamic. I always thought he was a good vocalist, but after listening to the Easy 8th album, I think Ricky Wilson is a great vocalist. He's very dynamic. As a vocalist myself, I really loved listening to the stuff that he was doing on this album, leading into his falsetto on tracks like Beautiful Girl, which is a song I really liked, Jealousy, and Noel Groove, and then leaning into different directions vocally, which I definitely appreciated. There are also some really nice production flourishes on here as well. I love the sax solo, Job Center Shuffle. You know you're going retro, you know you're going 80s when you have a great sax solo. For a lot of fans that are more into things that are typically stereotypical rock with the big guitars, I definitely would say this is more of a pop leaning record than anything really rock as we define it here on the channel. But the track Reasons to Stay Alive had a great guitar riff on it and some rock and roll attitude, which I think I was wishing that they would do for more of the other tracks on the record. One of my favorite tracks on the Kaiser Chiefs Easy 8th album, not an easy title to say, is the song Jealousy, which had a super catchy melody. I love the falsetto vocals from Ricky on this one. He just overall does a really great job on this record and carries it as a vocalist. And then one of my other favorite tracks on this record is called Noel Groove. I actually think this is one of the best songs on the album, which is surprising because it's like the second last track on the record, and a lot of bands, they make their albums front loaded. They put the best tracks up front, but it was nice to have a little bit of a great track later on in the running order. The only thing that was making me wonder is like, which Noel is it referring to? I don't think there's a member of the Kaiser Chiefs named Noel, but this song did kind of remind me of a Noel Gallagher solo track, so I don't really know if the band is referencing that. But I love the falsetto vocals on the chorus. Again, the vocals on this album were a real selling point for me. But as much as I loved most of the tracks on the Kaiser Chiefs Easy 8th album, there were a couple of filler tracks on here. There's only 10 tracks, but most bands can't escape from putting at least a couple of filler tracks, at least in my opinion, on the album. The last track on the album is called The Lads. It's a very nice English sing-along. It's a toast to the lads. But when you listen to this song, your immediate thought is like, could this be any more English? It's the kind of song that fans would sing on a football terrace, but overall, it doesn't really fit the vibe of the rest of the album. Another song that I didn't really love was Sentimental Love Song, which reminded me of The Cure, which was probably intentional because the band is going heavy and deep into the 80s references on here, but it wasn't really one of my favorite tracks on the record. But you know what? They were right to name this album the Easy 8th album because it really is an easy and fun listen with 10 tracks coming in just under a half an hour. This is the kind of album that was made for reviewing on YouTube. The album can sometimes border on schmaltzy and cheesy, but the Kaiser Chiefs have always had that side to them, and they lean more into that side on this record. And there's a lot of energy put into the songwriting and the production on this album. The production sounds really crisp, and it sounds like the band, Kaiser Chiefs, are still having a lot of fun being the Kaiser Chiefs 8 albums in. This album reminds me of that mid-2000s period where there was a lot of great bands coming out of the UK, including the Kaiser Chiefs, and it brought me back to that period because I went to the UK a few times during that time, and it reminded me of listening to and buying all the great music that came out during that period. It's just a fun collection of songs. The Kaiser Chiefs are not doing anything too ambitious here, writing some really, really catchy and well-written songs, which is enough for me, and you can't really ask for more, so I'm going to give the Kaiser Chiefs' easy 8th album a solid 4 out of 5. For me on this album, my favorite tracks are Beautiful Girl and How to Dance.
Tonight I'm gonna teach you how to dance. Dance.
Burning in Flames, Reasons to Stay Alive, Jealousy, and Knoll Groove. There are some really, really enjoyable tracks on this record that I like so much that they got added to my 2024 Spotify playlist. All right, guys, that is my quick and easy review of the Kaiser Chiefs' easy 8th album. Let me know what you thought of the album in the comments below. If you like this review, make sure to toss us a thumbs up. If you like this channel, if you love to rock out as much as we do, make sure to smash that subscribe button. If you don't want to miss out on future videos, do that, and check us out on social media on Instagram and TikTok at Rock Squad Pod. But I'll see you guys again for another video here on the channel. Until then, rock on, everybody.